Hello, hello, hello. You may have seen me pop up before. I realized that I had an old, I'm pointing to it with my cursor, like you can see my screen. I had an old name for the name of this live, so I had to go and change it. I couldn't be with the old name. Okay, let me come and tag you in. I know I'm going live in a couple places. I'm going to tag you in Human Design Community. And this is where I have you open. So let me just, I've still got this tickle of a cough, so bear with. I appreciate your patience with the coughing. Okay, so we're talking about the magic of codes in your human design. So if you are jumping on, come and say hello. If you are joining me live, come and say hi. If you are watching the replay, come and let me know you're watching the replay. Oh my goodness. Let's get this live tagged. My computer has so many tabs open. Hi, Ashley. How are you, lovely? So I'm just going to tag everyone and then we're going to dive into this. I'm super excited to share this with you when the computer finally lets me. Okay, that's it. No more touching. No more touching the things. Okay, so if you are watching the replay, come and say hello. If you're watching live, come and say hello. If you could give StreamYard permission to see your name, that would be super helpful because then I can see who you are, your beautiful face or your profile picture, and then it just means that we can have conversations so that it's all gorgeous. Hey, Jess, how are you? Lovely. Ashley's fine. Amazing. Okay, so the magic of codes in your human design. Who has heard, like, in the last 2 years, all of a sudden it just went, everyone was talking about codes, magic codes, all the codes, right? And what I see, let me know if that resonates. You see a lot of people talking about codes. Obviously, I have a lot of codes that I talk about, so maybe I notice it more. Hey, Katie, how are you? Gorgeous. So with the codes, I see that codes happen in two ways. Let's talk about what codes are, how they happen, then we'll move on to what it is in your human design. So I see that codes happen in two ways. And the way that I've seen it pop up here and there, I think because obviously I have sovereign code and I talk about different like expansion codes, abundance codes, all of these different codes, that I'm more aware of it. So like my reticular activation system is kind of hyper alert to it. So the thing about codes, the way I see it, is a little bit like, do you remember old school computers? Had a client yesterday who works with sound codes. Yes. I love that. My goodness, maybe I need to know who she is. I'm really interested in sound at the moment, like the healing of sound. So, oh, soul. Okay. Find me someone in sound codes. Soul codes, yes. So here's the thing that I see as codes, because I Googled it and I was like, what are we going to talk about? I'm one with the words. Let's really tune into what a code is, because I knew I wanted to talk about this. And I looked up code and it said things like it's, let me see if I've still got it open in a place I can see it. I can't see it. I think it's on a different tab. It was saying things like it's, numbers and letters that represent something. And I'm like, yeah, it's not really what it is it? Sound does sound awesome. It really does. If anyone's hearing this, please can we have some sound codes? So the way I interpret it is, you remember the old school computers? Like with the real big consoles and the computer screens were like this deep and you had to wait forever for them to warm up. And then when they did get going, they made all these creaky kind of noises. You know what I mean, right? Those proper old school computers, not even the ones that had internet before the days of internet. Before we had the dial-up sound, the children that we're bringing into the world will never have to live with. Oh my goodness. Back in the day, I remember just yelling at my brother all the time to get off the internet because I needed to use the house phone, right? So who remembers the old school computers? Is it just me? Am I the oldest one here? So with these old school computers, you would have like the floppy disks, right? And you'd put the floppy disk in, and hopefully you got the right one, especially if it's a copy and it's not been written on properly or something. Like, let's pick out of all the discs, hopefully you've got the right one, put it in, and then it would start wearing away as it tried to get the disk to work, and then it would open up the program, whatever's in the disk, right? So like CDs, but like the computer version of cassettes, I guess. Yeah, I remember dial-up. Oh my goodness, the dial-up, right? That sound of dial-up, so infuriating. Like, come on. So funny. I remember it well. I'm a kid of 1982. Snap, me too, Leonie. I'm an 82 babe as well. It was so slow. It really was. And oh my goodness, the things that I used to do in like the just random people you'd end up talking to in chat rooms, not very like safe, like I would want Archie to be now. Anyway, that's the way I see codes. Like, they're inserted, they get kind of uploaded to your mainframe, if you like, to your body, your soul, your energy, your DNA, all of the magic that makes you up. That's what we're doing. We're putting those codes in. It's not like dot matrix kind of thing, but you know, those codes are coming in, and there's two ways that I see the codes can be present or can be used or can be accessed. School computers, one between 4 classes. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my goodness. I remember the time between doing my degree and doing my MBA, like doing my degree on an old school computer and then having to print it off forever and then go get it bound and hand everything in paper copies, and then doing my MBA. There's like this whole computer portal. There wasn't even that much time, so it moves super fast. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Little nostalgic trip down memory lane. Okay, so with these codes, there's two ways they can come in. Like, they're either being received, like star codes or, you know, something that's outside of us. They're being received in one way or another from outside of us. You know, when people download different universe codes or different planet codes or so, like all these star codes, they're coming from outside of you, and they have a purpose because they are powerful. And I believe that we all get kind of activated at different times with the energy that we're in, and they could also be called codes as well. We all get activated in different ways at different times. And the way that that's happening specifically with human design at the moment is that we are going through this fundamental paradigm shift. So we're moving from this place of being in super masculine world, because in human design, we go through these journeys of paradigms. And with each paradigm, there's a different experience based on the incarnation cross, which determines the energy that we're in. And so we went through a paradigm where we mastered survival. Think about like cavemen and going through all of the millennia up to the point where, okay, we've mastered survival. We can stay alive. We understand medicine. We can do these things. So we kind of went through that paradigm, and I'm kind of like shortcutting a lot here. But then we've got, I'm on a call, Archie. Archie's just coming in. Can I do it in a minute? Here, take this glass. So so we have this whole survival, like really stepping into survival. And then in 1691, we moved into a new human design paradigm. You've probably heard me talk about this before, but I'm going to go through this super quick because it's important in context. Archie, pick it up, please, babe. Like kicking his bag across the floor. So we go through survival. Then in 1691, we enter into this. Archie, no. He was going to, darling, please can you go upstairs? Because right, I don't want to hear you burping and boys after school. Am I right? So 1691 comes and we enter into this paradigm where we're mastering the material plane. So we're here, we've gone through all this survival, and now it's like, okay, what can we do with the material plane? What can we master? What can we learn about the things that we can create and build and develop? And this is where we've got the creation of like the Industrial Revolution, or the building of the education system, or the banking system, or the police force. And all of these different things start to be built up and built up and built up. And during that time, we realize that we've got more access, I guess is the best word, to creating a life that we love and really stepping into our purpose, because we've got this survival piece mastered. So we're stepping into our purpose, and all of these things start to begin to be liberated. I mean, read the book if you haven't read the book already. There's a whole history around this in there. Not a whole history. It's not like a history textbook or an encyclopedia of everything that was. It's kind of an overview of a history, but it gives more context. Oh, glad I made it. Nearly missed it. I'm glad you made it too, lovely. So at that point, we're in this phase now where we're in 2023, and in human design theory, in 2027, we're transitioning into a new paradigm. And this paradigm is completely different. This paradigm is where we are leaving behind the masculine in the way that we've had it. I want to be super clear about that. Not just leaving behind the masculine. It's more that the disempowered masculine no longer serves us, in the same way that the disempowered feminine also does not serve us. But we're in this kind of masculine energy. Imagine it like the water that we're swimming in is very masculine. And we're moving into this very feminine energy, this very feminine space, where we're going to have this such a different experience, because we're here to master energy and the spiritual plane when we transition into this paradigm. Obviously, it's not going to happen like that. It's not going to be like a ta-da, here we are, this is it, we've all got it mastered. But I believe as part of this process where we're moving from this masculine world that was really focused on material mastery, which means that wealth is correlated by your material, like your material wealth, and being worthy is correlated by your material output, and all of these different, the legacy systems that have been created are starting to crumble, which is why so many more people are connecting in with who they are, their own sense of alignment, all of those pieces, because we're moving out of this fear-based paradigm, which is very reactionary, very much in this disempowered energy, into a paradigm that is much more about who you be, much more about prioritizing purpose and joy and magnetism over like work and material output and all of those things. We're really stepping into this new paradigm that is more deliberate and alignment focused, living on purpose, connecting with your purpose, being intentional, understanding energetics, mastering energetics, all of those things. And so it is no surprise to me that there's been this like distinct change of where, like, you know, even if I think back 10-15 years ago, talk to most people about manifestation and they think you've fallen from another planet. You talk to people about manifestation now and they're like, yeah, I do that and I do this, and I, you know, even outside of the entrepreneurial space, I know it's more intentional in the entrepreneurial space. And part of the reason I'm sharing this with you is because these are also the codes that are coming in order to transition us into this new paradigm. They're not the codes I want to talk to you about necessarily, okay? The second kind of code is what I'm going to talk to you about. But the reason why I want to bring that up is because there's lots of different ways that these codes can happen. And what is going to fundamentally change when we transition into a new paradigm is that right now, you are a pioneer. You're already ahead of everyone else in terms of energetic mastery and alignment and magnetism, because you're here. You wouldn't be here if you weren't ahead of everybody else. I know it seems like in the entrepreneurial space, like everyone is, well, certainly in the circles that I am in, everybody is so focused on these things, but we're a teeny tiny representation of the world, and the world generally is not. And so you already have this pioneering energetic about you and about what you're doing, what you're creating, your own sense of self-awareness, your connection with alignment, your magnetism. You already are a pioneer. And so when we transition into the next paradigm, it feels to me a little bit like you're going to be the fish who thrives in fresh water. We're leaving behind the salt water. So you're going to be put in this energetic that means that you can really amplify everything that is already being done. Still keep doing it. Don't wait until 2027. Like it's still supporting you right now. But I just feel like in 2027, it's just going to be like this moment, like we can breathe again kind of thing, you know? So the other way that we receive codes is in our imprinting and in our soul. So let me talk to you about this a little bit. In human design theory, when you are, even before you're born, when you're in the womb, 88 days before you are born, your soul is imprinted incarnated. That's the word. We'll do the imprints in a minute. Your soul is incarnated into your body. So your soul comes with its own set of codes. Its own set of codes about how you are designed to be in the world, who you're designed to be, the gifts you're here to share, the gifts you're here to experience, the wisdom you're here to gather and to lean into, your purpose, your direction, your joy, your relationships, your relationship to the masculine, your relationship to the feminine. All of this is coded inside of your soul already. It's incarnated 88 days before you're born, and you have access to all of that. The other way that we receive our codes is that when we're born, let me take a step back. Did I speak about neutrinos in the book? I can't remember if I spoke about neutrinos. Basically, neutrinos are subatomic particles. This is not going to be a science lesson, don't worry. Subatomic particles that are always around us. So even now, you have like, I know, 1 trillion subatomic particles passing through your thumbnail right now. So they're always around us. And essentially what neutrinos are is the stardust. It's literally the stardust. And when you're born, you are imprinted with neutrinos. You're imprinted with these neutrinos that really highlight certain parts of who you are, your life purpose. Obviously, it all works together, right? Where we're imprinted with the neutrinos and where our soul is incarnated. But all of these codes come together and make up who you are now and who you were always designed to be. Does that make sense? Let me know if that resonates. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I don't want to blow your mind on a Friday afternoon with like the science talk and stuff. So, oh my God, I had to write an essay on neutrinos when I was at uni. That was a long time ago. Casey's going to come tell us all about neutrinos now in a much better way than I could because she's written an essay on it. I love it. That's beautiful. Thanks, Jess. Love a bit of science talk. I know you do, Amber. I know. Because that is written in your codes, right? It's literally written in your codes. So here's the thing. You already have all of the codes that you need, that you require in order to create everything that you desire. You already have all of those codes. You already have access to all of them. You just need to know where to look. Hey, Gabriella, how are you, gorgeous? Gabriella, I need to message you. I haven't forgotten. I've just been a little bit busier than usual, so I'm going to message you back. So with all of the codes that you have imprinted and incarnated inside of you, the thing about having these codes is like, okay, what do they do? How do I find them? Where do I access them? Like, what is it? How do I get it? You know, and the real truth about the codes is, of course, you need to know where to look. But when you know where to look and you know how to activate them, you can really unlock a lot of magic inside of that. As an example, let me give you an example. I am going through in January and February, generally what happens, and I've realized there's a real pattern to this, is that every year I go through this kind of chrysalis phase. where it's like the caterpillar in the chrysalis turning into goo and emerging as the butterfly. And what I love about what happens with the chrysalis phase and metamorphosis and all of those things is that it requires that level of trust when you're in the cocoon and you're going from this caterpillar and you're in this whole bowl of soup. Do you know that the caterpillars literally turn into liquid? Can you imagine being the caterpillar in that cocoon turning into liquid and still trusting that it's okay? I'm going to be the butterfly. Well, if that caterpillar had a human brain, the human brain would be going, you're liquid. Don't be stupid. How are you going to turn into a butterfly? If that caterpillar had conditioning that we receive from the world, it would be saying, you need to do something about this. How are you going to fix it? You really need to work harder at turning yourself into the butterfly. But what actually happens is the goo remains until it turns into the butterfly. And this is what happened. This is like one of my cycles that happens every year. It's literally written in my stars. And it's literally written in my human sign, right? This is one of the codes. And because I understand it and because I know it, because I know, like I didn't know the pattern's only just landed. But I know it's a part of my journey because, as an example, my incarnation cross is the cross of masks. The cross of masks is directly related to having and experiencing lots of different identities through your life, together with the fact that I have an undefined G center, which means that I'm naturally super chameleon based on who I'm around. And I'm designed to experience lots of different people and lots of different energies and lots of different identities. So, of course, there's this whole metamorphosis that is going to happen periodically. So, understanding that code inside of my human design means that I can then not only navigate, but embody it and also use it in a way that's super empowering. Use it in a way where definitely in past years, and I'm not going to lie, I've had moments this year where I'm like on my hands and knees crying, going, that's it. I'm not doing the business. And I will tell you, it has nothing to do with how much money you earn. It has nothing to do with how much money you earn. This has happened to me off the back of my highest launch. This has happened with the highest amounts in my money in my bank. It has nothing to do with it at all. It's totally energetic. Like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I literally said to my friend the other week, you know what? Maybe I'll just go find a consultancy job. And I just stay in it in the moment, stay in it, be in the liminal, be in the goo, and know that I'm going to have this clarity and this moment, the butterfly moment. And when it happens fast. So because again, in my human design, I know this is my life purpose. This is how I'm designed to process energy. This is how I'm designed to feel when it's right to move. And so that level of clarity that literally came in on Wednesday because of a couple of conversations. I'm a split definition, so processing with other people really helps. So having that conversation and then having that moment of clarity, and then literally I got the moment of clarity, and as soon as I opened Instagram to reply to a message, the first message I saw was the sign that my clarity was right. I'm not going to go too much into it right now, but I like sacral response. So as soon as you get that clarity, things can move really fast, but we can be like, really, I used to be really pushy. How am I going to fix this? I need to do more. My brain, you're so out of here. Like, what is going on? This is not going to work. And really trusting in that moment. So got the clarity on Wednesday evening, had the sign immediately after, took the action straight away. Wednesday evening, 9:00, messaging people, right, this is what I want. This is what we've got to sort out. This is what I want to have. Doesn't matter if they don't reply to me, like whatever. I'm taking the action. Okay, I'm committing. This is it. Let's go. And the thing about that is, this is my code. Like understanding myself is my code. Understanding the codes in my human design, it gives me like that code of expansion, of metamorphosis. Does that make sense? Let me know. Does this make sense for you? Now, within human design, and you may have heard me talk about this, particularly if you're in the Sovereign Code, or if you've read the Sovereign Code book, I talk a lot about abundance, wealth, and success codes, because I can directly correlate your human design chart to this is how you're designed to create wealth. This is how you're designed to create abundance. This is how you're designed to create success. Do you see? I can see, and again, that is my code. Like, that is part of my genius in the world. You give me a map, I can see it really easily. This is how you're designed to do this. This is how you're designed to do that. This is your code for abundance, right? Who would like to see their code for abundance or expansion or wealth or manifestation or money making or business or purpose or like any of these things? Don't you think that it would bring this sense of connection with, hi Cheryl, don't you think it would bring this sense of connection to your own confidence, to your own self-awareness? I've been doing some interviews with some of the ladies who were in the Sovereign Code last year, and I like the quotes that I'm getting from this are mind-blowing, because their level of confidence has just expanded so much, which obviously has a ripple effect in everything, because energy is energy across the board. As my new favorite quote says, I've really got to figure out who says it because I use this a lot now. As my new favorite quote says, you can't pee in a swimming pool and expect it not to expand and not to go everywhere, right? So energy is energy across the board. You become more confident in one area, your business grows, your relationships become more empowered, you're more self-aware, their level of connection to themselves, their nourishment to themselves, all of the things that they're able to get by understanding their success, abundance, and wealth codes is amazing. So the thing about your human design codes is, what is my code is not your code, but I can tell you exactly where it is in your chart. I can tell you, put your chart in front of me and I'll tell you, this is what it is. This is how you get there. This is how you create it. This is where it might be pulling you out because there may be some conditioning with this, but here's how you can bring yourself back. That is my genius. That is my gift. I see it, I can interpret it, and I can give you real tangible guidance on how to use it, what to do, and how to stay empowered in that process. Okay? Does that make sense? Autocorrect, change your name. That's all right. Do you know what? Most of my friends call me Shah, and most of my family call me Shah as well. So it's all right. We're just like this. Always, yes. Love my gate 55. Amazing, Gabriella. I love it. Okay, so I don't want this to be a long session necessarily, but I got really excited to come and share with you about codes because I really believe they're super magical. And I do genuinely believe that when you understand where they are and then how to unlock them in an empowered way, it can change everything, not just the thing that you're specifically focused on. And so with that said, and because all of the planets are direct and it actually feels like we're in New Year now, I have created a masterclass that I would love to invite you to, which is called Expansion Codes. And Expansion Codes is literally looking at your design and determining these are the things that are going to fundamentally create expansion for you in a way that is really aligned, not in this like quantum leap, let's just do a million things, BS, not that. So really coming back to, these are the things that are going to change everything for you and create this aligned expansion in a way that is sustainable and unique to you. Here's how you implement them, and here's where you might find those, the little roadblocks that we get. So here's how you can empower yourself and move beyond it and really deeply embody this. Okay? Does that sound good? I wish somebody had told me this so many years ago. Like, here's your process, essentially, is what I'm giving you. Here's your process for expansion. Here's your process for growth. Does that feel good? Who's excited? So here's the thing. There is an investment for this because I want you to be energetically committed, but I want it to be super accessible. So the investment is £11. Yeah, those roadblocks, right? I don't know, Leonie, if you've heard me talk about the Mario Karts. When you're in alignment, it's like you're racing on Mario. Why is everything video or gaming or computer related with me today? So like when you're in alignment, you're in Mario Karts and you're like racing to the finish line and everything's great and everything's amazing and all of the things like, this is amazing, I'm winning the race. And then all of a sudden a giant mushroom pops up or someone bumps you out of the way. So it's those things. And actually your wisdom and your resilience and your empowerment comes from those experiences as much as anything else. So it's really powerful to recognize those, and we will go through all of that inside of the expansion codes as well. Go for a spin and then come back. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a spin. Okay, so the expansion code is £11. We are going to be doing that on the 8th of February. And all those bananas, exactly, those bananas. We're going to be doing that on the 8th of February, and this is a really interactive experience where you bring your chart. I'll show you how to find it. You're going to go through the experience, like your own workbook about what it is, what it means. I'm going to support you in really bringing that understanding to not only clarity, but also like, what do I actually do with this? Because here's what I find. There's a lot, and this came up a lot in the interviews recently, actually. There's a lot of like, here's all the information, but yeah, great. What do we do with that? How do we work with that? How do we work with that around what the world told us? Remember the caterpillar in the cocoon? If it worked with the brain, it would never trust that anything different was going to happen. If it worked with the conditioning, it would be trying to figure out, how do I put myself back together again? So we get to work with what we've already got. So I will direct you to what they are. I will also show you how to work with them very tangibly. Guide you to how it might feel disempowered and how to come back to empowerment so that you can step into expansion, so that you know how to create expansion, because expansion is the energetic to receive more. It doesn't matter what kind of more you're looking for. The energetic for that is expansion. How do we really step into this level of expansion? So that is going to be really interactive. You can feedback with me. That it's going to be kind of workshoppy, so you can go through it in a workshoppy kind of way. You feed back to me. You can ask questions. We'll get you real clarity on that, and you also get access to that for life, like have it forever. And that part is a lot to get your head around, to navigate in the world again. Yes. So the thing about it is, it's a journey, right? And it's about knowing which bits to look at and how to really tune into those pieces. So your expansion codes is £11 on the 8th of February. I will drop the link in a moment. If you have any questions, let me know. No worries, Leonie, I'm finishing up now. Don't worry, lovely. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you for being here. Have a beautiful weekend. I love you. You're amazing. Bye.